Oh, we're on.
We're
okay,
on.
this
Yeah,
is.
right, that's right.
Hello, welcome. It's Thursday, 1 o'clock. Welcome to the Smart Hub and to our brand new studio. We're on the tan leather couch today, and I'm here with John Cook. Courtney is just sharing this out on John's phone. That's what all the hand signals was about before. Today we are talking about something really interesting, which is systems. We'll get into talking about systems very shortly, but please join us. John, how are you?
I'm great.
Very good.
I love that you took up my idea of the couch.
I love your idea of the couch. We'll make this a permanent fixture in our HubLives on Thursday, I reckon.
Glad to leave my little impact last. It's going to last.
Your lasting legacy. Love it. Hey, the weather's turning really cool, right on cue. Hey, winter, and it was cold today, hence the jacket.
Well, that's Rockhampton. That's you expect about 2 more weeks of this, and then we'll be straight back into warming up again.
No, not true. Maybe 2 more months. I think once you've lived in Rocky, you need to wear a jumper when it's like under 23, 24 degrees. Well, I do anyway.
It's where the good old hardy New Zealand jeans. I can still walk around in thongs and shorts and no pants in the middle of winter, and it's fine. So.
That's nice. I remember living when we lived in the UK wearing thongs, and it was 12 degrees out, and it was fine because you adjust to the weather, don't you?
That's it.
But you live in Rocky for a bit, can't cope with the cold.
This is the bit of the year I love. So.
Yeah, the weather's perfect.
That's it. You can, other than swimming, you can get out and do whatever you want. So.
Well, you could probably even swim in the middle of the day. Like you could have swum yesterday, maybe not today.
Yeah.
Yeah, today's really cold.
I'll leave that one for you, Elize.
Hey, Chelsea, how are you? So great for you to join us. Thank you very much. We are talking about systems today, so please hop on and ask any questions. So I'm here with John Cook, is my amazing guest. Now, let me get your company name right, IIL Technologies.
That's it.
So what does the IIL stand for?
Absolutely nothing.
No way.
Yes, it's one of those generic, sounds important names, but I have a big passion that I hate long URLs.
Yeah.
And if anyone's going to try or check a spell checker on how to type in your website or your email address, you got problems. So I just kept typing different combinations of 3 letters into domain name search engines, and this one came back and it looked good, so I took it. And that's just where it came from.
Hello, Esther. Thank you very much for joining us. We're here with John Cook from IIL Technologies. The IIL stands for absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
But it's a short domain.
That's
short,
it. It looks really good as
easy.
a symbol too, a bunch of squares and rectangles. And
nice, so you
looks
have
good as
your
a
logo and everything done.
Yeah.
Well, I just registered a domain this morning, and I have to say it's like 5 words. That's all you can get now.
You got to be creative. You try some of the other domains like .trade. I've done a few for a few businesses now where we've done the websites, and if you use some of those new alternative domain endings, you can get some pretty interesting short URLs still.
Yeah, it's really interesting. But off topic, we'll talk about systems in a moment, but someone was saying to me the other day, if they had to start over, if they could have their life over and go back 20 or 30 years, what they would do, or maybe probably just only 20 years, what they would do is just register a heap of .com domains, like you would buy real estate, and sit on those domains and sell them today for a fortune.
Yeah, news.com, Tree, Paint, all of those are, I think they're all worth a pretty fortune these days.
They are. Can you imagine having registered Coca-Cola.com or, hey, that could have worked. But too late now. Okay, we're here today to talk about systems. Now, as you know, we do these HubLives to help small to medium enterprises adopt technology. And the reason why we think you should adopt technology is something that John and I will discuss shortly. But what I've been saying generally is to grow your business, to grow your revenue, save yourself time and energy. Now, interestingly, systems, the acronym is save yourself time and energy and money. So we're right on the money today, aren't we?
I think acronyms and technology, you've got it spot on there.
So tell us, John, broadly, if you're in business and you want to do a better job in terms of achieving more with working less, making more money, but how can we adopt technology? What's that process, and why should we think about doing that?
The first thing, don't go out and just get shiny things. Newer, faster, better isn't really going to help you. Just because you have a friend in business who's gone along and put this wonderful thing in place, that might have been the right thing for them, it might not be the right thing for you. You've got to look at your business plan and where your business growth is going, and then assess what technology you need to enable that. Technology is only there to support your business and the underlying, so you've got to get your plan right on what you want to do and where you want to go, and then put the right technology in place to support that.
Love it. Hey Jolene, thank you so much for joining us today. We're here obviously with John Cook from IIL, talking about how you can implement systems, technology and systems in your business to save yourself some time, energy and money. Okay, so when you say a shiny thing, what do you mean? Do you mean a server? Do you mean a network? Do you mean telephone system? Do you mean an app? What do you mean?
Shiny thing is anything that it looks really good,
yeah,
but it's not really useful.
Okay.
So it could be everyone's complaining that your computers are running slow.
Yes.
Just buying faster computers might not fix that. It might not be the computer. It could be the system that you're using to get that information. You know, if you're going out to the internet every time to update your workflow from whatever you're using to manage your tasks and all of that, it could be your internet connection's the problem, and fixing that, suddenly your computers are like rockets.
Okay.
So understanding where the actual problems in what you're doing, if you just go out and buy bigger and faster, might not be what you need.
Okay, so am I right in saying that what you do need to do is you need to know where your business is going and where you want to grow, right?
Yep.
And secondly, this is kind of the methodology used in innovation. You need to make a list of the problems you have in your business.
Absolutely.
And then think deeply, or maybe seek some expert technology advice into how to fix that problems, and not just jump in and go, yeah, I need a new computer or a new server, or get someone in who can really think about the whole system and where the actual issue might be.
That's it. So really great place is expert, and there's plenty of those in Rockhampton. I'm a big advocate for the ICT skills here in Rockhampton, that you don't have to go away to get those skills in a lot of areas in computing here.
Yeah.
But also the Smart Hub, there's a lot of great people here that you can come and see,
There
and understanding
are,
these
yes.
things. But yeah, understanding your technology problems and where they're failing your business. So if you need to do more, well, there's always three main reasons why you come and look at doing something with technology in your business. You want to enable growth,
yeah.
so you want to be able to get out there and sell more. You want to cut costs. Things are just costing you too much, and times are tough and you've got to tighten your belt. Can you do things a little bit smarter and cheaper? Or you want to be more efficient. You're putting 30 hours a week into admin tasks, which is really just copying data from one Excel sheet to another. That can all be automated these days, and suddenly you're freeing that person up to make sales calls, or implementing a new idea that's going to lead to more revenue.
Well, let's be honest, regardless of what kind of business you're in, regardless of the industry, we all have the same problems. And two of those problems are, number one, how to grow. That is everybody's problem. How am I going to grow this business this year? And secondly, how am I going to cut the expenses, cut costs? So technology can be part of that answer, right? Okay, so we've discussed this a little bit prior to going live, and one thing that we said that every single business has in common is customers. And customers is super at the heart of this growing business, cutting costs conundrum, right? How do we think about customers, the customer journey, and systems if you're a business owner?
So what you need to understand is anything from any of the point in that customer, when you first touch them, from when they see one of your ads, you make a call, or they come into your store, all the way through to when you've made sales and beyond. That whole process of the customer journey can be systemized these days. There's a lot of really powerful tools out there. It could be simple, a CRM, which is a customer relation management, that you put over the top of your email to be able to manage those interactions with your customers, so that anyone in the business knows what's going on. So if Joe Bloggs walks in, who came in last week and talked to a salesman he can't remember, you can look him up in the system and know, well, he talked to Tim and he wanted a new wheelbarrow. So you immediately can connect with him and go, all right, well, I can, Jim's not here today, but I know the one he was showing you. We've got this, And well, we've got these few extras we can add onto that as well, because they knew he was looking at wanting to do some potted plants as well. So those sort of things you can put in place. A good example of another sort of, you can also automate a lot of these processes as well. So one I've recently just done for myself, I've taken on board a new PSA, which is a servicing agent for my IT business. It handles all the faults and tickets. When I create a new, using a number of online tools, Zapier and everything, whenever I create a new customer in my system now, it connects with my task management system, which is Asana, another free tool that's out there, and creates an onboarding checklist that I need to do for that customer then to work through all those tasks. So,
okay, hold on. Hey, Chris, thank you so much for joining us. Great to see you. Right, let's take that step by step. Yeah. Okay, so the number one touch point with your customer is probably in your marketing, right? Yeah. So do you have specific systemized or systematic tools or system tools that you can recommend to use in marketing?
Marketing, I use Buffer. So that lets me control my social media, which is my main point of marketing.
Okay.
But your marketing and your sales whole process, you really...
Is that where the CRM
Yeah,
comes
it's sort of
into?
a bit of a CRM as well, but you need to connect them and flow. It's all part of that those sales funnels, which is another name for another part of the customer journey, that they might get onto your Facebook, and then you go, all right, well, I like that, I'm going to go off to their website, and then at this point the system might record them in the CRM.
Yeah.
And then they'll go, oh, they looked around the website and they spent 5-10 minutes looking around and then they left.
Yeah.
But your CRM knows they came and they didn't make any sales, so you might, if you've captured their email address in that process, send them an email a couple of days later and go, hey, we know you looked at the website.
And what's the email tool that you would use to do that?
So with that,
MailChimp, I think, is quite a popular one.
MailChimp is good. Building it into the website itself. MailChimp will do a lot. Yeah, MailChimp's probably a good one from an email marketing point of view.
Yeah.
Usually something in the website, like a click here for an offer on to get a PDF with some information or something like that. Some sort of, here's an offer for a product, or would you like to hear some more about our products type information, or would you like to be on our mailing list to hear about our information?
Okay, so then, and that's on the website itself. Oh, that'll be on the landing page, I'm guessing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so you have your social media channels.
Yep.
Say Facebook, Instagram. You have an ad on that, or you just do a post.
Yep.
And with a link to your landing page, that then makes an offer.
That's it.
Let me add you to my mailing list. Let me send you this report. Let me send you a free packet of seeds
or any offer that you think is going to
entice them
or make you memorable. Marketing 101.
Yeah, to give you their email address, right? So then you capture the email address, and then you have like a sequence of emails.
Yeah, then it would go into a CRM, and you would usually have a bunch of thresholds. So it could be if they came back the next day and bought something, well, then you'd send them, well, hey, thank you very much, and then maybe another month's time, you'd send them, hey, we're having a sale on another type of seed. But say they came, they looked around and then they left. There's various things. I can't remember the product now. I'll put some links together with a lot of these products and we can follow up. But it can actually track where the users go on your website, where their mouse cursor goes, how long they spend and how long they look everywhere. And it gives you a heat map of where people spend the most amount of time on your website.
That's cool. Yeah.
So you can see which part of your websites are actually being productive. So you can see that the user came on, had a look around and then they left. If you've captured their email in that process, 3 days later, you can say to them, well, I know you came and had a look and you obviously didn't like it. Can I give you a 10% off your first purchase?
Yeah.
Would you like to come back and have a look again?
Yeah.
And so you can follow up with these people that they didn't get over the line to a sale.
Yeah.
To look at them, well, what do you need to then get them over that line?
It's a really interesting process because I know I worked with a client a number of years ago who had a women's clothing store, and as part of the sales process, when a customer would enter the store and purchase something, they would then receive a letter in the bag with a discount voucher for their next purchase. But if a customer came in and didn't purchase, they would receive a different kind of letter saying, thank you very much for entering the store, we would love to see you back, and offer a different discount as well. And those customers then tracked how many people would come back and actually take advantage of that discount. So that's a real life example of enticing people to come back to you. So what you're describing is similar to that, except for online. So if someone's made it to your website, that's probably cost you money or time to get them to go to your website. So you don't want to just let that go. You want to then send them an offer or entice them in some way. You want to use that link point to keep communicating with them.
Putting a lot of these systems in place, you can actually track the entire cost of customer acquisition.
Yes, which you should. Which you should. In business, you should know how much it costs to get a customer.
So you could go from how much the Facebook ad per click to get to your website, the conversion ratio from your website to a sale, or along that funnel. You can, with all the tools in place and capturing that data, you can actually figure out in real time what percentage each of these process you lose. So if I put $1,000 into marketing, that is going to lead to $10,000 worth of sale, and you can actually break it down and systemize it and be very scientific about it in knowing that if I'm going to put my marketing dollars somewhere, that if I put the most amount into Instagram, it's going to lead to the biggest return in conversion.
Love it, love it. Tony, Nick, thank you very much for joining us on our Hub Live today. We're coming to you from our tan couch at the Smart Hub in Rockhampton, and we're talking about systems and technology and how you can use technology and systems to make more money, to save on cost, and to just be more efficient in general. So save yourself some time and energy. I'm here with John Cook from IIL Technologies, and we're talking about the customer journey. So please feel free to hop on and ask any questions. John's obviously very knowledgeable, as are all the experts that come to sit on this couch and participate in our Hub Live. So jump on, ask a question. John will answer that for you. You have access to a technology expert here this afternoon, obviously free of charge. Just hop on, ask a question. Our court will read the question out to us, and we'll be more than happy to answer. So John, what you're saying really is that the first part of the customer journey can and needs to be automated so that we can look at the data of how customers are behaving and make scientific and informed decisions on how then to communicate with them. And you can automate that whole process.
Absolutely.
So you might take you a week to set all that up, and then for the next month, 2 months, 3 months, that just runs while you're sleeping. So if a customer comes to your website at 2 a.m., no worries. You are communicating with them because you've set up the system.
That's the beauty, and it's global as well. So if you want
It is global. I love that. Yes.
So if you in all of this, you need to look, but then you got to look at the problems you're having. So you might, as a business, be getting really good conversion ratios once you get face-to-face. You could be a service-based business, a consultant.
Yeah.
So you need to aim your systems in place to be able to get those interactions going. And that's where being able to, especially with a lot of the modern tools available now, knowing who's gone through, being able to offer particular things in that funnel is going to be so important. But it could be as simple as, you could be a fish and chip shop, you could be a food retail store in the town, and a lot of the time, a lot of these places, it's a cash register, and they'll keep track of their daily sales, but they won't keep track of their individual items. So they don't know if a fish burger or a steak burger actually sells more.
Yeah.
So you'll have come in, you'll know your daily takings, but you won't know things like if people buy a piece of fish, they'll have some calamari with it. How often does that happen? How often does someone come in and buy, a family serve of chips with 4 pieces of fish, so that you know that, well, hey, if I bundle these together and then offer, an add-on, well, it'll lead to more sales. So being able to get insights into your sales of what's sold together. It's the classic case of why Woolies and all the big, Coles and retailers have those loyalty cards, because they know you came in and bought dog food and the milk at the same time. So they'll, put sales on that'll reflect that, or they'll put them closer together or further away in the store if they want you to move to different places. So it's about having those metrics about your sales and the data that you can lead to informed choices.
Yeah.
And that's the underlying systems that then support the business.
Okay, excellent. Hey Nikki, hey Brad, thank you for jumping on our Facebook HubLive today. We have a question. We'll answer that question very shortly. So John, the question is, how much does all these systems cost?
You can do it for nothing, for free.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work involved in doing that. You can also pay tens to 20s of thousands of dollars for someone to come along and set things up. It depends on the, it's a bit of how long's a piece of string. But if you're determined and you want to learn, and anyone who wants to come in and connect, in here, I'm happy to give them any advice or help that they want. A lot of the times you can do it with the free product that's available out there.
So it's really interesting. A lot of the technology tools have a freemium version, which up to a specific amount of transactions, or up to a specific number of emails, or up to a specific number of interactions, the tool is free of charge. So honestly, to start with, it shouldn't cost too much at all. But what we need to do, obviously, is understand the specific business, understand the business and what the challenges are, understand what the customer is doing and how the customer is behaving. And based on the information that we can gather from your specific business, that's how we'll be able to determine the actual cost. The challenge also is, the other question to ask is, how much is it costing you to deliver the service or the product that you are delivering right now to your customer? How much are you spending on advertising? How much are you spending on wages? How much are you spending on keeping your shop open, etc., etc., etc. So then we can weigh up how technology can help you save those costs, essentially.
Another big thing I could really recommend is shop around. Just on Friday, I had one person who they got into a bit of trouble. The system of emails completely stopped sending, all of these kind of things.
Oh dear.
Went and had a look, and she'd been starting a new website and getting things up and going, but she'd paid $150 for the year for her domain with some extra costs on top of that. That same service, if she'd shopped around, Australian supplier, exactly the same, can be had for $15 for 2 years. So,
150, yes. So remember, technology is just like everything else. You need to look around because apples and apples don't necessarily cost the same from different shops.
The other big problem you'll have is a lot of these products will do 80% of what you need them to do.
Yes.
So you put it in place, so you'll need to change your process a little bit to fit, but none of them out of the box will do 100% of what you need. So it might be that you need 2 products, one to then cover the extra, and then you'll need to make sure they'll link together. And unfortunately, like all things to do with modern life, decision fatigue really kicks in at this point because there is so many products in this space around supporting business. It's the number one, I would say, avenue a lot of startups take, and like, I've got this great idea on project management, let's go put it in place.
Yeah.
But it crosses over with CRMs a little bit, know, so you need to really get in and evaluate the products, and that's a really big time-consuming task, unfortunately. And there really is no quick, easy fix other than get in, learn about it, and shop around and see what's available. Yeah,
and that makes sense. So if you're building a business, that does take time. So building a business using technology will take time, and you have to make decisions, but shop around and do your homework. Hayley and Mick, thank you very much for joining us. I'm here with John Cook from IIL Technologies. We're talking about systems and technology and how that can grow your business, save costs, and help you be more efficient. So, okay, so we're going through the journey, the customer's journey. They've seen your marketing, they've hopped onto your landing page or website. Now they're in your store, either online or physically in your shop, or physically in your office. You've mentioned a CRM to keep track of who is doing what. I know that in Rocky sometimes there is the experience of when you go back to a store and you've been talking to someone, you go back and you say, oh, I was talking to someone from my office, it was Susie. Oh, Susie's not here today, sorry, and then no one knows what's going on. Where CRM can really help change the customer service.
They will solve that completely.
Solve that problem completely. Can you suggest a good CRM? One of your favorites, maybe?
My personal favorite is called Streak.
Streak.
I'm a big user of Google Suite, the Google Business Suite of products. Yeah. And it integrates straight in over the top of that, and it monitors all the emails come in. When it sees an email come in from a customer, it'll automatically log it with that customer and tell me what hasn't been actioned yet, and all of those kind of things. But that's the one that suits me well.
Yeah. There are a number of others.
There are more than I can count. HubSpot is another really great one with a free product as well. Another one, if you want to move into something with a lot more high volume, you could look at Pipedrive, which looks at a lot of those sort of funnels where you move, like this is the stage it's at, and you can watch the progress of like a sale move through, from this is just a lead to, well, we're closing.
And a lot of the CRMs generate to-do lists and reminders, don't they? And they're like, oh, you spoke to John a couple of days ago, it's time to follow up with John today, and that'll come up, and you can integrate your laptop and your desktop computer and your phone and your iPad, and it can all talk to each other, and the reminder will pop up.
Some other really great ones will also track, like say you send out a quote, you'll know when the customer opened that quote, how long they looked at it for. I've even had some customers where they put systems in where they've tracked, monitoring of quotes, that they'll actually call the customer while they're looking at the quote to try and close.
Nice, that's a good one. That's a really, really good idea. So your technology is telling you that the customer has your quote open on their email, and you can hop on the phone and go, hello, how are you? Have you looked at that quote? And then use that conversation to convert to a sale. That's awesome. Okay, so now we're at the delivery stage. So you're either selling your product, your service, fish and chips, dresses, homeware, accounting services, technology, information products. What can we use to make that delivery of your product and service super amazing from the customer's perspective?
So you're looking at some sort of point of sale or online store. Depending, and again, this is a very wide question, so we'll pick an example of the fish and chip shop.
Okay, we'll go with fish and chips today.
It's really good.
I'm going to be super hungry at the end of this, John. We're going to have to go and have some fish and chips.
Well, we can go to jeans. Do you want to do jeans instead?
Yeah, no, I don't mind. We can do food. I'm good with food.
So
I love eating.
Square makes a really good product in this space for point of sale.
Yeah.
Where you get like the little counter, so it does your FPOS, everything, and then they have a bit of software that goes in. With an iPad, and on the whole counter will just be a little white disc and an iPad on the counter. Oh,
you were seeing those. I've seen those around. So that's Square.
So those are really inexpensive, can be had from Officeworks. The ongoing fees are just in the transaction costs, so I think there's $60 to get started, and that's it.
Is it easy to set up?
I've had a lot of people who haven't been technology based go through and set them up. But then they might want to do a little bit more with them, so they'll come for a bit of extra help. Like they'll want to then integrate that with their finance packages like Xero or QuickBooks, and a lot of that can be done very easily. But it comes back to that: what's going to cover for how your business works.
Okay, so sorry, you go.
So it could be that how you sell your product, in that you offer, like, you sell bikes, for an example.
Yes.
There'll be 5 different frames, 10 different wheels, different accessories. It might not handle that situation for where you have a lot of, how you sell. So where it comes to shopping, customization, it just depends on, and a lot of these offer really easy to access free products to just give it a try. Just jump in and have a go. See if you liked it, or come find a technology partner to help you through the process.
So what I find really, really cool, and I think this is what technology is amazing at, but also tricky to do sometimes, but I think this is really, really cool, is that you can literally link the delivery, your point of sale system, to your money system, so to Xero, so they talk to each other. So there's no more data entry, there's no more having to have someone specifically go and count how many of this happened today and then add that into the money side. All of this is happening automatically. And then if we have a CRM, all of this here is linked together as well. So there's really is a seamless journey and story that's being told through technology, which will save you a lot of time, right?
So to plug myself a little bit,
yes.
I'm in the process of setting these up as well. They do take a lot of time. So I'm putting in a technology service coming around protection of your computer at the moment.
Oh, security is huge.
So antivirus monitoring, updates, all of that into one little monthly package. $8.50, launching July.
Nice.
So in that process, it will invoice based on how many times you've installed it on your computer. So that whole sales and delivery, it knows, the system, that you as a customer have installed it on 5 of different computers, and
Yeah.
at the monthly rollover, it collates that and puts that into the invoice, sends it out, know when it's been paid, and then closes that invoice off without me needing to touch any of that process along the way.
And then that will communicate with your accountant, because your accountant can just log into your system.
When they need to do the BAS and all of those
and they
kind of
can
things.
see exactly what happened. And that's cool. That is awesome. So your money system, are you using Xero?
No, I actually use QuickBooks.
Oh, QuickBooks. So QuickBooks will generate the invoice.
Yep.
It will monitor your bank account to see when that invoice is paid. It will make it show paid.
Yep.
And then your accountant will just log into your QuickBooks account and know what's happened.
That's it.
Yeah, how good is that? Karen, Maria, thank you so much for joining us today. Great to see you on this Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock at the Smart Hub. We are talking to John Cook today. We're talking all things systems and how to make your business grow, save cost, and be more efficient in the whole customer journey, from where we're first talking to them in marketing all the way through where they are getting what they want and beyond. So once a customer's done a transaction with you, how do you keep that communication open? Because we know that it's so much more efficient to get the same customers to buy more things from you than it is to get new customers all the time.
So that's where your CRM will come in.
Yeah.
It'll say, depending on how you've configured it and
Hey,
what you've
Cooper.
done with it,
Yeah.
it could give you alerts on this customer hasn't come back for a few months, 3 months, depending on whatever time period. It can give you, and depending on the product, there are some CRMs that will cost hundreds of dollars a month.
Yeah.
Your Salesforce and all of those kind of things. You kind of expect a lot of that sort of stuff out of the box. Some of them will even automatically send emails. Some will give you reminders to give them a call. Some might send specials. You can use them into your. Usually, you try and have some sort of monthly or recurring mailing list or something like that to touch with all those customers again. So those sort of things, just to let you, like anything, if you neglect it, you're going to let those customers fall away. So just something to help remind you, keep you on, and give you a plan. Again, it's got to be part of your business plan, and then the technology then to support what you want to do with it.
I think it's really important to think about your business as a person almost. Hey, Andrew, thank you so much for joining us today. I think it's really important to think about your business as a person. And the business as a person is entering into a relationship with the customer. So it's almost like a friendship in a way. So imagine if you make friends with someone and then you go out for lunch, you have a great time together, and then you just never contact that person ever again. I think that person will feel neglected, but also you'll miss a great opportunity. And I think also that you've got to define what your business's personality is, depending on what service or product you're in. So maybe you're a professional person and you're delivering, legal advice, so you might have more of a professional voice in your business, or maybe you're more informal, like someone who serves the coffee for your customer every day. But regardless, if you see your business as a person and you see your customer as a person, and you try and visualize a relationship and think about what that relationship is and how to build that relationship and how to foster that relationship, how to communicate with that customer more often in a way that they want to be communicated to, I think that is a great way to build business. And even that can be automated.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the way in which someone needs to start? If you're in business, if someone is online watching us today and they want to get started, they have a little bit of technology in their business but not enough, and they want to grow or save cost and be more efficient, how do we do this?
I think understanding your problem is the best place to start. Know that, hey, something's not how I want it and I want to change it. Looking at and then trying to identify that is great place, the Smart Hub where you guys do a lot of that, understanding problems. Come see someone who works in technology. But like any bit of advice, you have to put into context the person giving you that advice.
Yes.
And shop around a little bit, for the solution that you're looking for solving that problem. But I think it's really about understanding what you want to change, and then finding the knowledge to do that. And Smart Hub's a great place to do that.
It really is, yeah.
But then, and a lot of this stuff you can do it yourself. A lot of it, and I don't mean to talk, people in technology, IT people, computer guys down, but a lot of this stuff now, people tend to just get confused or frustrated and no, I want to be hands off and not worry about it. It's not very difficult. Get in, and if you have questions, send them through to myself. You can find us through the Smart Hub, and we can point you to. There's a lot of great knowledge out there these days where you can do a lot of it. But if you get into help, you go, well, no, I really need someone in to help me with this. Find a technology partner, but understanding the problems where you need to start.
I love that. I also, in addition to what you said, which was spot on, I really think that the most basic technology, which is pen and paper, is a great place to start. So maybe this is something you've never considered doing, but if you sit down with maybe a coffee or a wine and you write down the actual customer journey, from where it starts all the way through to where you're continuing to communicate with the customer after the sale, and then write down the personality for your business and see how that matches, and then say, well, how is this happening right now, and where are the sticking points, or where would I like technology to help? Where's there a lot of repetition going on in this process?
I think you've really just articulated that it's about, because that's the business, mapping out the customer journey, mapping out the business plan.
Yeah.
Technology can't work without that. It needs to support the business and the customer journey. Not the other way. Like I said, you don't start with shiny things.
Yeah, don't start with the technology. Start with the idea. Start with the journey mapped out with a pencil and paper, really, is all you need. And then we incorporate technology into that plan to see if we can make it easier, faster, cheaper, more efficient, and also scale it, which means, pulling some levers to get more customers into the system, essentially, which is what technology is amazing at. Yes. So you said, John, when we started, that you want to end with something really practical that people can do. Give us your practical to-do thing.
Practical to do. I think we've talked on it a few times. Work out that customer journey.
Yep.
Start with, it's part of a business plan. Everyone should have it. Everyone in business should have it. I know it's not a technology hint out there, and I kind of wanted to do that, but I think as a really good starting point to understanding what you need, map out that customer journey from the very first time they touch here, and that can be just hearing about your business, seeing an ad, or making contact with you, to turning them into a repeat customer, how that whole process works. And the Smart Hub's a great place to do that. And then work out where your pain points are. And then if technology is the right solution to helping with that, it could be an administrative thing. Like, technology isn't always the answer. And that's coming from a technology person. Work out the pain points are and then solve those.
Absolutely, yeah. Make a list of the problems as they exist in your business today. Make a list of the things that are painful, that are repetitive, that are boring, and that technology is great to solve those things as well. And of course, use technology to solve your technology problems. For example, YouTube is an amazing place where you can essentially learn how to do a lot of things, right?
I learn every day. I will check something on YouTube.
Google and YouTube, we're our best friends.
I just fake everything. It's Google and YouTube that does my job.
We know that that's a joke, but good. I think there's a lot to learn from Google and YouTube. So yeah, try and teach yourself, essentially. John, you've been part of the Smart Hub for how long now?
We'll be coming up 2 years.
Is that right? Wow, the Smart Hub's only really been going for 2 years, so you've been here since the start, really.
Not quite, but yeah. I think
3 years.
Yeah, September, October, somewhere around there.
Yeah, 3 years to be fair. May. It's exactly 3 years since it started, but I didn't start with the council until 2 and a bit years ago. So the Smart Hub in my mind started when I started. Which is not true. The Smart Hub started prior to that in May 2016. So you've been part of the Smart Hub for 2 years. And how have you found the experience? Tell us a little bit about what it's like for you.
This has been a great learning place.
Yeah.
And a very supportive place. You can come and do a lot of things with no risk. You can come and make a fool of yourself.
Not that we do that very often.
You can Startup Weekend, which is coming up.
Yes, because you joined our Startup Weekend committee.
Yes, so that's
organising
coming up
committee.
July. Are we able to
The
plug that, Courtney?
26th of July.
So a little bit over 2 months.
Yes, that's going to be exciting.
Come along. Even if you, it's not about just starting a business. It's about if you have an idea or you're going to do something new. It could be you work in a government department and you're about to have a new project come through. And I know it sounds really crazy. Government departments are, hate this, being a bit outside the box. But the skills you pick up in the startup world and startup weekends are so fundamentally good at helping you deal with anything you're going to start or anything new you're going to implement. They are fantastic, and there is no better way that I know of.
Honestly, I think as the world keeps changing, it's Small Business Week this week, and I attended emceed a small business breakfast on Tuesday, and we had an economist speak, and he was talking about, the economy and the outlook and what to expect and the good things, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And essentially, he was at the center of his talk was technology, because technology is fundamentally changing the way in which we live, the way our customers behave, and everything. And the way to ensure that you are good for the future is to have some entrepreneurial and innovative skills under your belt, which interestingly doesn't really have to do with technology. It has to do with understanding customers, and there's a specific process that you can learn in one weekend over a startup weekend. And not only can you learn that process, you can meet some amazing people, you can have a heap of fun. It's a startup weekend, the 26th, right, of July. Yeah, you can hop on if you're interested to register. I don't know if the registrations is open yet. It's not open yet, but just private message us and we'll put your name on the list, and we'll send out the link as soon as the registration link does open. Is there anything else you'd like to say about the Smart Hub?
One other thing I'll plug about Small Business Week. I'll
Yes.
come back to the Smart Hub because you guys are amazing. I don't know if I need to feed your ego anymore. But, tomorrow at Small Business Week, I'm part of the presentation from Capricorn ICT Network.
No,
where we're talking
nice.
about,
What time is that?
I think it's 10:30 or 11. I just realised I don't actually remember when I'm presenting.
Oh, we better check.
But I'll check. But it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Elize is there as well. Actually, I'm right on after Elize. So when are you presenting?
What time? 10:30.
So I'm 11.
I'm at 10:30. John's at 11. Come and join us at the library, the Fitzroy Room at Brockhampton Regional Council Library, just on Bolsover Street. Come on in, and we're going to talk about business and.
I'm talking about security.
Security, which is important.
I'll be teaching people how to remember over 10,000 passwords.
Do you know, can I just say, I used to be terrible with passwords. So terrible, in fact, that I had 2 password books. I had a password thing on my computer, and I still had to text people to remind me. I had to tell people what my passwords were for different things, and I had to text them to help me. And then at one of our previous startup weekends, you kept saying this password trick. So I said, John, just tell me what the password trick is, because I have a password problem. And you did. Within 3 minutes, I have been using that password trick. I have not used my password book. I've not texted anybody. I've not had to ask anyone what my password is. I do not have anxiety when I try to log into stuff, and I don't get angry anymore. So I have to thank you for sharing that with me. Everybody, it is worth coming along to the library tomorrow to learn this. And not only that, a couple of weekends ago, I have lunch with my family every single Sunday. And on Sunday, like my parents and my brother and his family. And last Sunday, we had this password conversation. So I've been sharing your strategy with my family, and they've adopted the password strategy. Now we're all good with passwords where we used to not be. So definitely come in and have a listen to what John has to say around passwords. Very, very good. Is there anything else you'd like to say, sir?
Come down, connect. I'm here most days. If you do want to get some tech advice, I'm happy to give anyone some time if they just need some advice or want to find out about doing something more and they've found their problems or they want help finding their problems. Come down and connect, and there are lots of other people here that can help with the same, with whatever you're doing. And there's plenty of lunch and learns. There's plenty of other things going on down here that if you like what you're getting in the content with these videos and want to take it a bit more, come down and connect.
So come down to 208 Key Street in Rockhampton, the Customs House. Just walk through the front door, you'll see our little A-frame sign at the front. You just walk through the front door, you'll be met by a wonderful lady called Adelaide, and she will make you feel very welcome, and then you can access John and all of our other members.
And share this video around, share it with your friends.
Definitely. Monique, thank you for joining us. You're just in time for us to say goodbye. So hello and goodbye to Monique. Please share this video with your friends. And we hope to see you at Small Business Week at the Fitzroy Room at the library tomorrow at 10:30 and 11. John Cook, IIL Technologies, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Elize.
And join us again next Thursday. See you then.